And I think you're absolutely right about the atmosphere inside the stadium. If the Celtic support were not here, there would hardly be any atmosphere. I mean, it's a very disappointing crowd. Mark Q, I think we've learned today that the north of Portugal in October can produce rain like anywhere else in the world. In fact, perhaps worse than anywhere else in the world. Thankfully, the rain has eased off right about mid-afternoon. I think that has affected the home crowd. But it's also helped the large Celtic support, who are accustomed to the comforts of Celtic Park, have sadly no roof over their heads in the Estadio das Antas, and given the ominous clouds still floating in from the port area, could be drenched before the night is through. Remarkably, the pitch that they're standing on at the moment looks quite superb. I was down at pitchside with Billy McNeil about an hour ago, and it looked well nigh perfect. Although the players did say the surface seemed to cut up easily at training last night, and the PA system in the stadium would blast you away. It's incredible. Well, Celtic have an official support of about 4,000 here, but I think you can add about 2,000 or 3,000 to that, because that support has never let the lack of a ticket hold them back from travelling, and many of them have been able to get tickets and have been accommodated in an extra section off to a left that UEFA has officially sanctioned. Well, the rain certainly hasn't diminished the power of the vocal cords, nor has the well-anticipated absence of Chris Sutton, who would have relished these conditions. There's the referee, by the way, who refereed, by the way, Celtic in Lyon the night that Henrik Larsson broke his leg. There's the Porto team. Before we get to Celtic, Billy McNeil, of course, is beside me. The one very important change, no Jorge Costa, who's a bit of a legend in Portugal, Billy.
Well, I think that would be a great loss to them, because obviously they're going through a difficult time, and I think he is, as well as some of his teammates. But I think when you leave out someone like that, it does leave a big gap for them. But I think the most important thing tonight is for them, they've got to go ahead. Actually, they're being criticised for not scoring enough goals.
Now, how crucial has been the subject of conversation and in the studio, the absence of Chris Sutton?
Well, I think Chris Sutton has perhaps been Celtic's best player, particularly in the away matches in Europe. He's led the line well, he's been a threat when balls come across from either side. But, you know, John Hartson, Martin O'Neill knows him well, brought him up to Scotland to do a job, and what better night than tonight?
Well, you know, I think I should emphasise to people back home that sometimes we can be very self-critical. I've been around Europe now quite a while, and of course been in the Stadio dell'Alpi and now this stadium, and there is nothing to compete with the atmosphere that can be generated at the likes of Celtic Park and Ibrox. So we do have crowds, we can have atmosphere, and the Celtic support at the moment out shouting this crowd. I would put it, now it's a stadium that can hold up to about 70,000, I would put it no more than about 30,000, so I don't think there's any sense of intimidation for these Celtic players who are accustomed to much greater noise than this. Well, it is nevertheless a very famous club indeed, no question about that. They are the fourth most experienced team in the UEFA Champions League, and they're playing in the 57th game tonight. And would you believe only Manchester United, Bayern and Real have played more times in the competition than this team in blue and white. They've got pace, but have they got conviction? That's what the home supporters are a little bit worried about. That's overhead, that should be a goal kick. For last Saturday, Porto ended a run of 3 games in 291 minutes without scoring. And then when they did break that duck, it was an own goal. So they really are worried about, one, the kind of quality of play that we did see in the last 20 minutes at Celtic Park, but not being able to put the ball in the net.
No, but by all accounts, this is the difficulty. They're making chances, not being able to convert them, and when that does happen, it's really difficult to produce good results.
And the onus, as Andy and Joe were saying in the studios, for this team to get a win tonight. Draw wouldn't suit them, it would certainly suit Celtic, and there, over to the post in! It's a goal, and it's scored right away at the start. Clayton coming in from the left, and that is the kind of start that they really were dreaming of. Clayton gets it, the player who's playing and plays of Jorge Costa tonight, and that's something of a disaster for Celtic right away. They can hardly believe it, but look, they're trying to raise their spirits already.
Well, that's right, Archie. It was very careless play, and look at that. The three central defenders, there's only one left there to cope with it. Clayton peels off him, great header. Lovely crossing from that right-hand side, but really a careless start for Celtic.
Indeed, and can they come back? Now, they showed in Estadio das Antas they could come back from 2 goals down, and were very unfortunate to lose that game. There's been a great increase in the self-belief at Celtic Park, and they've now got to show it in the most dramatic and prolonged way. Long time to go. That goal came in 90 seconds. Here's Larson. Take it away. Valgaeren, very careless with that. This man Clayton again. Trying to sweep that right over. Well done by Thompson, who came back into defence. Hartson did get that little touch. Well, the home support really relishing that. The Brazilian Ferrara Cruz Clayton is the man who's opened the scoring, and it helps that coach there, Octavio Machado, who has really stunned the Portuguese media by the way he's treated the famous Jorge Costa. Costa watching in the stands tonight. Beautiful little ball inside by Clayton, and they have to concede. Well, I think there might have been a deflection. That's a goal kick. They've got to be very careful, Billy. You don't lose another one quickly.
I think that's very important at this stage. You know that Porto really are playing very, very positive. They're prepared to leave the 2 markers at the back with Hartson and Larson and just to go for goal and to really get down either side. They're playing with a player on either side, one up the middle, and really very, very positive.
Pena, the other Brazilian in the side, trying to go for that. That'll be a free kick, I think. Dutch referee making sure about that. Well, there's a man, Stilian Petrov, the young Bulgarian who's been outstanding for Celtic since the start of the season. And Celtic, of course, are well endowed with tremendous set ball players, including Petrov here, who was almost disemboweled there, I think. Touched by Pena. Agathe. Trying to get that ball through to Hartson. Lambert, who almost gave us a masterclass in midfield play in the last game. That's a good ball. Larson, he couldn't play it wide enough. Now there's a long one forward. Can it be kept in play? It's Thompson trying to come back in here, and that's a good effort. Got to be a corner kick. As I said, a very big Celtic support in here tonight. All the big men up for this. Celtic, with their height in the air, normally defend this well. Straight to Douglas. And he'll be glad he cuddled that ball well.
Well, it's very important that he gets a touch. I mean, that's the first thing he's had to do since picking the ball out the net. But you know, they really are asking a big question of Celtic, because they're playing with one player wide on either side, one up the middle, and they're really saying to themselves, well, how are you going to handle this for marking? And at the moment, they're making space, nice and tidy passing, and they're looking very positive.
Well, better tackling there as that was pushed forward. Costinha gets in very hard. Costinha, by the way, the man who scored the goal that put Rangers out of the Champions League. He can break very quickly from midfield, and that's just hooked away. Free kick though. What's ball going out of play now? It's the throw the referee gave. Yes, Agathe worked hard for that. Well, he gets up and down the right hand side of that field very well, Agathe, and you could do with some of the runs he showed against Rosenberg in the last 20 minutes of the game. I think that ball had gone over. Well, I think if they certainly can absorb any other pressure right up to half-time and keep it like that, they still stand a chance. But another goal in this period would be almost...
It would be very difficult. You know, they're playing very calm. They've been boosted by that early goal, obviously, and they're really up for the game. Whatever else the coach has done, believing that he's the most experienced player, he's got this lot ready to play.
Well, that was a great tackle. And look at the pitch. As I said, the players said it was cutting up. Looks immaculate, but I think it's mere cosmetic. It is obviously very soft. And I think it's going to be badly scarred before the night is through. I thought Hodgson was going to get onto that. Well, it was once again played away to that far side. Thompson trying to go back to defend. Played out by Ibarra. Ibarra will come, the Argentinian fullback will come forward a great deal in this game. If he does get the opportunity, that's him on the far side there. Douglas just gets away with that. Well, it wasn't the easiest ball to take, Billy.
No, it wasn't, but it just shows how alive they are. Pena actually left the pass on and then went for it.
Well, they had Pena get that pass. Well, now, the assistant referee on the far side certainly had his flag up, but there was no marking here, and whether he was offside or not, Pena really should have put that behind Douglas.
Well, that's right. It was a marvellous chance to hit the target. I'm not convinced that it was in an offside position, but again, a good ball in from that right-hand side. Lack of marking right in the centre of defence and living dangerously.
Well, we've been complimenting, and I think rightly and accurately, the Celtic defence this season. That's the one thing that I think characterised Celtic, being a very difficult team to beat, and now, uncharacteristically, they've lost a goal in 90 seconds. That's Ibarra. Oh, running into the opponent and putting too much play in the ball there. Oh, Robert Douglas glad to get rid of that. Now Larson, what can Larson make of this? That's a good ball to the side. Free kick, and there might be a booking in this. Costinha coming in very heavily, and I think it is, yes. Yellow card for Costinha. Well, the gentleman at the front rank of the legions of Celtic supporters looking a little bit perturbed at the moment as he looks at that, but he's all right, I think. Yes, indeed, Yini. I think he's going to leave this free kick to Thompson. Absolutely no challenge for anybody overhead, in fact. That's verification of the booking for Costinha. Well, when we saw Celtic in the Estadio das Antas go 2-down against a team as renowned as Juventus, you wouldn't have given much for the chances, but they fought back admirably. So that test of character they came through. And I'll repeat. Late tackle there by Lennon. Referee right up to it. Rennie Temminck, the 40-year-old referee from Holland. Certainly getting a lot of Dutch referees at the moment. The man who was going up there was Deco, the Brazilian player. 4 Brazilians in the squad. Well, they'll be ready to erupt if Celtic can do anything down at the other end now. Laid right on by Lennon. Yes, Clayton, I think, did have the opportunity. He couldn't just flick the ball through. Too many players there. That's better play. Balde, good ball. lot of running here by Agathe. Little bit too strong. Thompson's at the back though. That's a better ball coming in. Better play by Celtic, getting a lot of width to the play.
Well, that's much better play, isn't it? And Agathe really did put a ball in, but just overhit it slightly. The ball from Thompson from the other side was very much better.
Balde. A little bit tight to the line. It's gone out, in fact. Yes, that Celtic defence looks very nervy tonight. And I can assure you that was the colour he came into the park with. I don't think it's that early goal that caused that.
I think what's happened, Archie, is that Porto have got Deco out wide on that right-hand side, Clayton out wide on this left-hand side, and they're saying to Celtic, right, what are you going to do about it? Your three centre-backs are going to have to adjust, and at the minute they're finding it difficult.
Well, the message from that man there, Martinelli, is strident. I'm sure he'll want better organisation in defence. And at the same time, caution as they push forward. Easily picked up, Mario Silva. Well defended there by Lennon. Breaking to Pena. I think a hand was used there. Goes round the outside and just pass. I think there may have been a deflection. I thought he used his hand to get the ball under control. The referee waved play on, and that was very, very close from the big Brazilian top goal scorer in the country.
Well, I certainly thought he used his hand as well, and I felt it was a foul, but he just takes one extra touch on the ball, takes it too wide, but what an escape for Celtic.
Corner kick. Impassive features there of Valgaeren. Look of stubborn determination. Back it goes in again. Balde is up. Should be cleared by Lennon. Lennon again. Plays well in those defensive roles, and that's too much, and it'll be a goal kick. And I think Celtic will be glad to see that ball out of play at the moment.
Well, they could do with a little bit of respite there. You don't want to see the ball in your own box too often, but I think quickly, actually, they've really got to sort themselves out at the back. I think they're trying to get Agathe to come back and pick up Clayton, but they're really going to have to get themselves organised. They're leaving too much room. Their front players are going off their marker, picking up the ball and making good use of it.
Bump into the back of Hodgson there, free kick. Paredes committing that. Carlos Humberto Paredes from Paraguay. He's the man who's effectively keeping the great Jorge Costa out of the side. Can play almost anywhere, Paredes. Here's a free kick. Balde was well marked. Just beyond Pena. Look who it is again, Neil Lennon. I think the great asset of Lennon, he's not the quickest man in the world, but his positional sense, has witnessed that, is superb.
Well, he's going to have to do something to help the centre-backs, because Pena is coming off whoever's marking him, picking up the ball and causing all sorts of damage. Perhaps Neil Lennon is going to start playing in that area and just trap the space that he's got.
Just over 15 minutes gone, Celtic trailing by 1-0. And there's a kind of perplexed look about the side. You lose a goal that quickly in any game, doesn't matter what kind of quality you have, you've got to find the time and the composure again. Deco offside. Well, this team, as anybody who saw the game at Parkhead will agree, played in little phases. They fluctuated from being, I think, a side playing tentatively in the first half to great bursts of exciting attacking in the second half.
Well, I think in actual fact they've thrown caution a little bit to the wind. They've also surprised Celtic just a little bit, because Deco played in behind the front player at Celtic Park. He's playing wide on that right-hand side, getting lots of room and sending in some dangerous balls. Well,
little bit of panic there. Mjallby and he not linking up all that well. I think he'll go through 50, maybe even more before the night is out. There is down inside, that's beautifully played forward. Lennon. I beg your pardon, Larson with it on wide, and I think he expected more out of that. He certainly did. Trying to get some depth with that. Played there by Lennon. Pena going up for it, nobody behind him for Porto. Now, Paul Lambert. Haven't seen him going forward in this game so much. I thought there was a little deflection there. The assistant referee says no, he had his flag up. Well, that's a very poor clearance indeed. Jorge and Andrade making a terrible mistake. Clayton. Capucho coming in from that right-hand side. It's a 1-on-1. Can he take him on? A step too far off the ball. Once again, he went too far on the right-hand side as he ripped that Celtic defence open. No free. Well, the referee, I think, is producing a yellow card for diving. Appreciated by the Celtic support there.
That was once again a real let-off, wasn't it? That down that right-hand side, Capucho mixed up with Deco there, but having said that, they're going to have to sort themselves out. I really feel that Martinville is probably going to go to a back four. He started with the back three. At the minute, they're in all sorts of difficulty, all sorts of trouble, and they've really got to get to grips with the game. By the way, the referee was entirely right with that.
Absolutely. There he goes again, he's beating the offside trap. Valgaeren trying to get back to him quickly. This was the danger man at Celtic. Partner, superb. Well, I think the referee was a little bit harsh that time. I think that was a free kick in it. He doesn't endear himself to the home crowd. And he waves that play on. I thought that was a free kick. Well, you have to stop the play sometime. For a moment, I thought he was going to yellow card Capucho for another dive, and he felt, well, he had a little second thought about it.
Well, to be honest with you, Archie, I think he was entitled. I don't think there was any real challenge there. We didn't see the challenge on Paul Lambert, but I felt it was a very, very fierce challenge.
Well, the referee certainly wants him off. Paul Lambert, that is. Not the kind of sight you could see under present circumstances of skull and bones. Billy?
I think having dished out one yellow card for diving, there should have been another one.
Yeah. Free kick. Up here and played very slackly indeed. Mario Silva, formerly Boavista, he played for Nantes, and in his last season with the French team they won the cup and the French title, so he's a very useful player. There was a deflection there, corner kick. Oh, nobody coming up for that for Porto. Everybody back for Celtic at the moment. That's a very useful ball, and Douglas Great anticipation. He came out, he stopped, and the ball landed exactly where he was.
Well, they certainly come out and took it, but for one horrible minute I thought Capucho was going to get a little touch there, but still they're looking very ragged at the back.
Well, Paul Lambert is back on, by the way, just as we were watching that. He was coming on. Really do attack well from the back. And then given away to Agathe. Jorge Andrade making that mistake again. That's a decent ball, and the goalkeeper made heavy weather of that. Ovchinnikov, the Russian goalkeeper. Now Capucho. Referee giving a free kick for that. Well, this is a good ball.
In fairness to Agathe, with the limited service, what he has produced, he's produced a threat down that right-hand side, and that was a very difficult ball for any goalkeeper to take.
Halfway through this first half, Celtic still trailing by that one goal. Oh, there's no defence there again, and the flag was not up. And I'll tell you what, Billy, they could, even though they're one up, they've now spun 3 clear chances and could get regretted.
Well, that's right. You don't often get as many chances as that, certainly not as early in the game, and they have missed a few and let Celtic off the hook by so doing. Well, Celtic have got to settle themselves at the back. They've got to get to grips with the game. They've got to prevent the spaces that the Porto players are getting, and they've got to look an awful lot more settled.
Well, Thompson takes it. Run there by Henrik Larsson. He's not been overtaxed, you could say, by the amount of service he's had tonight. Goal kick, though. Yes, they need to ply this man with the ball, get it up just above and beyond their defenders.
Yeah, I think that what they've got to start doing, they've got to start shutting down the space that they're offering the Porto player, the midfield and the defence, and then they can introduce Hartson and Larsson into the game.
Paul Lambert, easy one for him this time. Seems to have recovered fully from that knock. Agathe gets another chance to go for it. Yes, well, they have had a lesson in this man's speed in the past. Know exactly what he's capable of. The little turn there by Henrik Larsson that didn't quite come off. Well, he'll certainly work his socks off. Beautiful play by Agathe. He's held back, and that surely ought to be a booking for Mario Silva. Deliberate pulling back. See this again.
There's no doubt he pulls him back, and really when you see that should certainly have been a yellow card.
Well, Celtic really have so many excellent free kick takers. There's one of them. Alan Thompson getting right into that. Here's Pena. Controlled that well. Look at them streaking out. Capucho getting this ball again. A weak ending that time. It really is a danger man. Capucho is the man who hit the post at Celtic Park and then came in with a header that grazed the other post. So he is certainly not a lone raider tonight, but very effective, good control, great pace. Hartson. Oh, it gets in behind Balde. Just got a little touch to it, though. Martin O'Neill just right in front of us, gesticulating to his players for that little bit of effort. I think that came off the Porto player, no. Almost gone through, well read by Lennon again. Well, his defensive qualities, Lennon, several times in this game tonight, he's nullified moves that could have been very dangerous.
Well, he's now playing in the space just in front of the central defender and trying, I think, to restrict the space that Pena was finding. And then, you know, they've got to do that because he has been a real threat. Better finishing, Celtic would have been in real trouble.
And that's a nice little ball to the outside. Thompson. Well, just a little bit too much weight on it. Celtic, though, looking much more composed now. Well, I think they would miss a player like Bobby Peta tonight with his pace, you know, especially in the counter-attack.
Well, certainly the open way that Porto are playing, there's lots of room down either side for Celtic to take advantage of.
Played in, Agathe, a little bit slow going for it. Lambert. Balde, bad ball. Celtic at the throw, though. Well, that Portuguese crowd have, I think, not been wholly confident about the ability of their side to do anything in this competition. Given very erratic form. And given the misses as well that we've seen in this game, you can understand why they're concerned about how superior they can be in outfield and yet so laggardly in the penalty area. Well, he wasn't happy about that either. Remember, the ball is very greasy out there. Superb play there and given away too easily by Capucho. Celtic with more of the play though now. There's corner kick. Well, they looked a little bit nervy there, Billy.
Just a little bit careless at the back there. No, Celtic has settled in just quite a bit. Lennon is playing just in that area where Pena was coming off to pick up the ball. They now look a little bit more comfortable and are starting to make inroads.
Balde right in the middle with Larson of that penalty area. That's not a bad ball in, and I think there was a bit of a push. Agathe being penalised for that. He was coming in from the right-hand side. Well, if nothing else, these Celtic supporters have got good balance. And balance is something that this Celtic defence now need very badly. Played back there by Clayton. Silva, Pena. Not much menace in that. Big Brazilian, 27 years of age. Had a little brief spell with grasshoppers in Swiss football. Last season the top with 22 goals in 29 league games. He was a man, I suppose, that they thought would replace Jardel, who's now back in Portuguese football, but he's not as prolific a goal scorer as the other Brazilian. Capucho, well read again by Lambert. Free kick. As Hartson had come back way down to the left-hand side, maybe a little frustrated and lack of service and simply not seeing enough of the ball.
Well, that's what happens, isn't it? He's chasing back towards his own goal, just trying to get a feel of it.
Larson did very well to come back for that. I thought he had lost it. Yeah, they cover him. Two with him all the time. Silva. Well, Silva, to my mind, hasn't had a great game right at the back. Well, the adulation, of course, of this man knows no bounds, and Balde. This is that. Valgaeren. Draw to Celtic. Just about 14 minutes of this first half remaining. Balde trying to get length on it. Goal kick. I think Larson thought he might get the corner kick out of that. Some exasperation all round in this game already, and some, to my mind, dubious refereeing. In behind, Capucho. Get it out well. Brilliant defensive work again there. How many times have we seen that blown mob coming right back, picking it up? Lennon superb at the moment in a defensive role. But it is. There he is again, right in the heart of defense. But I think he's reading the impact on the Celtic team and getting back to bolster it. But he's like a bolt in trying to fortify a fence.
Well, he certainly moved into a real defensive position. In actual fact, he's virtually playing centre back, and he's curtailing the room that Pena was coming off his marker, picking up the ball and creating all sorts of damage. But they still look just a little bit lax in picking up opponents inside and around that box.
Larson, good jump, effective in the air that time. Thompson realised he was going to get that fed to him square. Got there quickly. Balde. Agathe. Balde did the run. Oh, very effective play. What a Silva turning up trumps that time. And this team, I know, can be very dangerous even from as deep as this. Goalkeeper should get that. Yeah, Harton was lying just in behind Henrik Larsson that time. They got the free kick for that challenge. Well, I think Martin O'Neill obviously not happy. His team is undone at this stage and done so quickly, but on the other hand, it could have been a lot worse.
I think he will be a bit relieved. He's obviously seen his team very shortly defending at the back, but he'll be happy in the aspect that that Porto didn't take account of those chances they made. You know, the game could have been well beyond Celtic, but they're now getting themselves back into it.
Certainly are, and every now and again you get the impression that this team playing very slackly in midfield has witnessed the way they put the ball, popped the ball out of touch there, and then simply a goal kick to Celtic. Celtic gaining in confidence. I've got a commentator that says that it's almost the precursor of another downfall. Pena, well guarded again. Celtic congesting that midfield. Harton, neat little touch inside. Linked up well this time. Thompson coming forward, trying to get it to that left foot of his. And it's a wild one eventually by Petrov, but I think that was an encouraging move, and they realised that. Penetration, much more aggressive and direct.
Well, it was very encouraging because, you know, Thompson made a good penetrating run. Petrov was prepared to go up and support and really almost got himself on the end of things there.
Certainly not looking the menacing side at the moment. They did in the first 10 minutes or so. Cannot get that through to Pena. The ball played back by Valgaeren. Capucho will want it. Always dangerous when he moves forward like that. Pena looking for support. Or Silva running inside. Not the most effective ball in. Celtic looking tighter as they get back into the penalty area. It's done by Deco. Putting just a little bit too much work in the ball. They're coming back right across there, Costinha now. Capucho runs tirelessly. Did the same at Celtic Park. You would have thought the legs would have given from under him, but he kept on going for the full 90 minutes. Played in a different kind of position. He's playing wide right now, but certainly went through the middle. 2-1, he says, the final score. 2-4. Well, he stabbed it through, but I don't know, lack of understanding where that ball was going to end up. Pretty quick on the uptake. Got to Celtic. Just about 8 minutes remaining. Balde. Try and get length on it. It's a high one. Thompson, is he getting in there? There's the corner kick awarded for that. Very good anticipation by Thompson. He came from out of nowhere to pick that up.
Well, that's right, and you know, he was outside play. Certainly the ball hit him, but that time it had already gone over the line.
He'll take it himself. Well, a nervy-looking goalkeeper. Up it goes, and Larson almost inevitably in that area, crowded, though it may be, getting up to it, but the angle just a little bit too wide. Certainly got in there. Credit him for that. Well, I wonder if the halftime team talk, Billy, well, look, it could have been a lot worse.
I think that's the best way to look at it, to be quite frank with you.
Agathe. Oh, there's nobody inside. Just a little bit too strong, the ball across. But doesn't that indicate how effective this man can be? If released the proper way. Referee will call for that ball. There's free kick, I think. What do I do next? Capucho. Forced wide right. Does a very good control. Pena! What a brilliant cross that was. At first, I thought he would have gone round the other side of the corner flag and not get any room. He did, and a great header eventually.
Well, a tremendous piece of skill. He had very, very limited space. You didn't think that he could have got ball in there, but once again, no, Pena, right in the heart of that 18-yard line, is allowed to get a free header.
Balde gets it away. 5 minutes left of this half. Balde has to play it back to Robert Douglas. Held on to it just maybe a trifle too long. Up comes Agathe to try and give cover. Porto will get the throw for this. Now, could Celtic find some inspirational move in the last 5 minutes of this half? Celtic come back into the game. Got more movement to them, and that should be picked up by the goalkeeper. Kicked anywhere. That wasn't exactly. That was Paredes getting rid of it. Not the most elegant piece of play by Porto. Hudson couldn't get control. I think they've recognised the dangers of Agathe and Paredes every time. Agathe looked like taking off, which he can do. He gets across diagonally to him. Ibarra. Lennon playing right in the heart of that defence now. Balde. Well, to my mind, Lennon is Celtic's man of this half. The way he has suddenly appreciated the danger and gone in and tried to fill the vacuum. I think a vacuum is the kindest expression you could make of it, as to how Celtic conceded too much latitude to these men up front early on in the game. A little pain and agony there, I think. And slack. Pena. A lot of hard tackling, but the referee waits. Play on. This is Paredes. Now Pena. Oh, he's slow taking off. Billy, the Brazilian is quite neat and deft, but I don't think he's got a quick acceleration to him.
No, there's a lazy look about him, and he seems to prefer things into his feet. He doesn't want to chase it, does he?
Ibarra. Celtic and everybody back. There's Ibarra. Capucho had gone back just a little bit deep. Little curve there, an easy one. Bad finish again by the Portuguese. Hustling back there is Ibarra, who'd left himself on that position exposed. Had to be a corner kick. Larson took that bravely enough. He's a very skillful player, Larson, but we ought not to overlook the physical nature of his game. He really can look after himself. Look at the way he takes that fair dunt.
Well, he can take a challenge, and he can, when he needs, he can protect himself. But we haven't, Celtic haven't brought him into the game as much as he would want.
Equaliser now would be very handy. 2 minutes of this half remaining, and Larson certainly got his head to it again. He is a courageous player in a penalty area. You've got to be, especially in adversity like this. Celtic heading towards the interval, 1 goal behind. Challenge there by Capucho. It's deep. Valgaeren watched it very carefully and is taking no chances. I think he must realise this half is coming to an end. Capucho, corner kick, and the covering must be absolutely spot on. As if Clayton was going across to take this. Deco trying to give him support on the far side, but they won't take the short one. Well defended that time. Through it goes, it's a great goal! Brilliantly swept in by Silva. The goalkeeper simply didn't see it. The two Brazilians cause agony for that Celtic support. Defensively, he has not had the most impressive game, but as that ball came out, there was only one thing on his mind.
Well, he controls his first touch is excellent, gets it on his chest, puts it down in front of him, and from there on in, there's only one thing, but the goalkeeper's never going to see that until far too late.
Also a deflection, I think, Billy.
A little bit of a deflection, I thought, actually, yes. Celtic were just a little bit slow in getting out there to try and put someone in front of it, but good header out by Balde in the first place, but tremendous strike by Silva. That is a real blow.
It is. You would have hoped for something at the other end at this juncture. They're not facing an impossible challenge, far from it. But it's very difficult now. There's the man who I don't know whether he has a cold or is getting emotional. He could be both, because he's been criticised for his team selection and leaving out the legendary Jorge Costa. But Billy, Porto deservedly up at this juncture.
That's right, and really Celtic had ridden their luck quite considerably, but they looked as though they were getting themselves back into getting to grip with things. That is a real blow, losing that goal in the last minute of the first half.
Admirably optimistic, difficult though it may be. In the next 45 minutes coming up, as Hudson gets a neat little ball through there. Larson, half-hearted appeal for a free kick, not given by the referee. And as I said, no changes in either side, as a matter of fact. So Celtic look as if they might retain the same structure as Hudson. Gets his first real run and wins a corner kick. Good, heartening start by Celtic. Look at determination about him again. Thompson with Petrov. Just touched away. Paul Lambert. Well, for a moment I thought Paul was going to unleash a drive, very much as the Brazilian did, Mario Silva, before half-time. Thought better of it. Well, you know, Porto have entertained 4 Scottish sides in the past year: Hibs, Dundee United, Rangers and Aberdeen, and they haven't been beaten. Dundee United came out best. They've achieved a draw here way back in the good old days for Dundee United. So it is difficult.
Well, it's difficult in any ground when you're 2-0 down at half-time. Celtic have come out the second half very much more spirited, and Lennon is playing right at the back beside Balde, with Mjallby going on to that right-hand side and Valgaeren on the left-hand side. So not a lot has changed defensively.
A little bit of a wrestling match there. Referee waiting play on. Well, they must let that man pick the ball up there. It would only have been a 1-on-1 with Balde coming across. Looks to me, Billy, as if Lennon's staying at the back.
Well, you know, he put the end of that first half at the back, and he's just exactly up. Indeed, he's made no bones about it. He moves straight into that back position, and he looks as though he's been asked to pick up Pena.
Gets that final touch again. There is Pena. Pena there firstly. Look at the way that he got back again. That was pretty heavy back by Valgaeren. Two of them together. Hartson can't quite get it. He does again. Second attempt. Yes, that's going to be another free kick, and I think Petrov went over in an ankle. Referee warns him about that. Well, that was a very late tackle. Paredes coming in. A little bit of inconsistency by the referee. I think there might have been a yellow card.
Yeah, very much so. That was certainly a dangerous challenge and could have caused a lot more damage.
Pena trying to get it. Once again, Lennon. Oh, he blew it several times in the game. He hasn't looked all that confident with the ball played to the back of Valgaeren. Good positive run by the Belgian, Petrov. Remember, Celtic were 2 down, and the Estadio das Antas came firing back, full of enthusiasm. That's better. Corner kick conceded. Carvalho coming back for that. And the Celtic support aroused by this aggressive start to this half. That's very deep indeed, and that will be a goal kick. Once again, Balde had come right into the middle. Not all that pleased about something. Well, in Turin,
To be honest, many of us had given up on Celtic when they went 2 goals behind, but they kept plugging away. Maybe realised they had so much of the play. Nicely put down to Deco. I don't know what he was trying there, though. We'll give it away again. Slackness and not far away. Whipped in again by Clayton, the goal scorer. And coming out of slackness in that Celtic defence.
Well, there was just a little bit of careless passing there, wasn't there? And that's something you can do without. Celtic certainly started the second half much more spirited. Obviously, I think Martin O'Neill has blistered 1 or 2 years at half-time.
Well, it wasn't far away, but I think Robert Douglas had got the right angle to it. Balde goes in, and that's clumsy. And Pena is in trouble. He took it above the knee. It wasn't malicious, it was simply clumsy the way he went looking. I don't think he could stop himself. I think Balde would need an undercarriage to land, if he goes up in the air like that.
I think you could be a little bit frightened if you saw that person come towards, but it seemed to be just a challenge, a little bit careless perhaps, but I don't think there was any malice intended there.
Looks as if he's going off in the stretcher. That's the executive box in there, by the way. Porto are building an entirely new stadium. I think it's going to be a much more compact and intimate one. Let's look at this again if we can bear it. Oops. Really feel the crunch going in there. So did Pena. It's better to feel it up here than down there. Still in agony. Hasn't been all that impressive, Pena. Nice little flicks, but it doesn't look...
Well, he let himself down in the most important area, didn't he? He got some good chances. In fact, he really got one in particular. It was a great chance and blew it. And, top quality strikers don't do that.
There goes Petrov. Good determined run again by him. I've seen enough of that in this game from the young Valgaeren, and he's fouled again. Some of their tackles are reckless. Valgaeren. A little bit too wide, that's gone over. Trying everything to try and bring Henrik Larsson into the game. Balde recovered well. So does Paul Lambert. Once again, sweeping up at the back now. Lennon. Hudson laid it up beautifully. Agathe. What's the final ball going to be like? Couldn't quite manage it. Good covering. I think just out of play. What a good support work. Paredes coming up. Look at Agathe. It's a bit unfortunate. He kept that ball down too low. I don't think the defender had come up in time, but he kept the ball too low.
No, but that's the one glimmer that we of hope that Celtic have. Agathe on the right-hand side is certainly prepared to run his opponent, and he's getting himself into positions where he can send some good crosses into the middle.
There's a long one, and Valgaeren just got to it. There was that horrible moment you felt he was going to miss out on that. Capucho behind him. Pena. Offside. Crowd to my right-hand side don't approve of it. He certainly doesn't. But not all that perturbed, I don't think, the Porto crowd at the moment.
No, that was good defensive play, was it? Lennon held his line well there. Allowed them to run into an offside position.
Thompson has come inside. Did that well enough and gets out. As I said, they don't seem to be disciplined in their tackling. They're getting them in, but they're very, very crude at times. That was Costinha who had a spell with Monaco, as we know. Little chip. Lambert played that to the side and Watson had to come back, and I think there might be a substitution. It looks like Mjallby. Billy, you were out there, and he wants Mjallby to come on now. Who comes on?
Well, it's an interesting one. I think that what he'll do, keep Hartson and Larsson up front, and perhaps allow Mjallby to try and get control of the ball in the midfield.
Can't get the numbers sorted out down there. It's the second time in the Champions League games in succession we've found it difficult to get the right number up. Thompson. You can see the ball waiting out there, wondering what happens next.
Well, that's right. I don't think, obviously he's going to move Petrov over to the left-hand side, allow Mjallby to that space in behind the front two, and hope that he can get hold of the ball.
Easily flipped back. Paredes did very well. Mjallby was appealing to the referee here. Here's Pena. Well, he controlled it well enough, but I must say maybe Capucho should have gone right down the right-hand side. Well, Thompson has played his part. Maybe he scored that goal. A very valuable goal in the last game he played in the Champions League, and the excellent one against Rangers recently. So there we are. Certainly a growing word of confidence in this Porto support. Henrik Larsson likes the one-on-one like this, and still can be dangerous. The phase for Celtic again. Didn't break it up well enough. Ibarra. Well, appealing that somebody should have taken a run down the right-hand side. He made it a little bit too obvious, though. Celtic getting back quickly. Capucho, quieter this half. There he goes again. For support, Ibarra, Balde, the other way. Mjallby almost got it through. This little Argentinian getting plenty of the ball now on this right-hand side. Floated down in well, and he didn't get support there. Slack ball. There's a little flicker though. Well, you could tell as that was picked up by Silva that he wasn't going to lash out at it, but try and curve the ball in.
He certainly tried to bend it into the back post there, but the concerning thing for me was the fact that he picked up the ball so easily on the edge of the 18-yard line.
Agathe. Well shielded there by Petrov. Lovely deceptive stride he has, and much too high. And he realizes it himself. He did that beautifully the way he picked it up, and he appreciated it, except for the final touch.
Well, the final touch was drastic. He picked up the ball well, carried it well, saw the pass, and really just overhit it.
It was picked up by Douglas. Larsson getting a little bit of freedom, but the referee considers that Hudson had fouled going up for that. As I said, this man has been under media pressure. If you take an idol like Jorge Costa and you have a dispute with him, the press tend to go along with the favoured player, but he stuck to his guns. And the team have responded well. Well, that won't stay in. Yeah, just lack of service to this man tonight. But Billy, we've seen Henrik Larsson in games when he looks as if, he would never get a touch, and he's won games, just one little touch.
Well, that's right. He has that ability to turn the game on its head with one little bit of magic, and I'd like to think they'll prove that tonight.
Capucho, outstanding. Well, had it not been for that going in there, Lennon
in that position, slotting in there. Celtic would have been worse off now. He's been superb, plugging the gaps. Silva looks for the little 1-2. This is great stuff. Oh, what a goal! Oh. Clayton it was who came forward. I mean, they really ripped Celtic apart there. Second goal for the Argentinian. As he shakes his head in acknowledgement and appreciation. And they've got their English right. Well, jubilation there. Great goal, Billy.
Absolutely magnificent. Saw the opportunity, fought the ball, lovely 1-2, took it, never lost sight of what he was going to do, and Deco certainly got his hand to it, but couldn't keep that in it. Magnificent goal, but that bit sharper, that bit livelier. And really Celtic just looked a lot bit down at the corner.
Well, the goalkeeper seemed to be going down. I wonder if he stood his height, stood his ground, and it just might... I mean, he made a great effort. You can see he's going down the way, and it ricocheted up, but it was hit with such ferocity.
Magnificent goal, really was. Knew exactly what he was going to do. Sorted out early, went for it quickly. Nice 1-2, and absolutely tremendous shot.
Well, at 3-0, and Celtic, if you take the chances that Porto had in the first half, it could have been, as he suggested, worse, and now it could have been infinitely worse. Capucho, and I think, yes, the referee waved play on there. I think Capucho may have thought he was offside or something. He stopped. Yes, a hand is used. Neil did say that he felt Porto would top this section eventually. People thought he was just being a little bit too pleasant in advance of this game, but I think he was a realist as well. Valgaeren. Valgaeren tried to go through. Well, the perplexing nature of this is, I think, is beyond Celtic now, to be perfectly honest with you. So what did they try to do? I mean, it is not a knockout competition. We're talking about league. And consequently, they've got to keep grinding out. That's a free kick. And the referee, I think, is coming across to lecture the players for protesting about that. Balde trying to look innocent. Oh yes, he went right across here. That was a bad tackle.
It was. I think the thing that saved them in actual fact was the fact that the referee had already given a foul for an earlier incident. But you know, the thing that's important to Celtic, you know, that they've still got to try and get a little bit of discipline back, get themselves sorted at the back and see what they can do.
And they've got tremendous pace. A great clearance though, Mjallby. Really did get in, everything going for Porto now, flooding forward. Here's the attack. Porto. They try and throw one back, and it's not far away. Well, this little man who can pull such immaculate goals out of the bag, almost got it there, but not enough to remove the sad features of that Celtic supporter.
No, it was a wonderful run, and he's got two great feet, hasn't he? One didn't get as close to go as he would have liked. Nevertheless, it's indicative of his ability. I think the most important thing is that Celtic really settled down at the back and don't lose too many more goals, because that could have a real demoralising effect.
Sure, that was the point I was going to make to you. Not just sit in there, try and get one. Can't win this game now. Capucho. That's a decent ball and clipped away by Balde. Straight back again. They really are flooding into this area. The final touch there was by Clayton again.
Good strike once again, but a lovely ball out again from that right-hand side. And Balde really did well to divert it away from his goal.
Really nothing out of Celtic at the moment except going back there on the back foot. Mjallby going across there. I think the referee might give a free kick for that. this lad Clayton, he hasn't been a regular in the team. Yes, free kick. Scored a couple of goals, came from Atlético Mineiro, the famous Brazilian club. Interesting free kick here now. That's the popular end at the stadium. Played out wide. Ibarra. It's being a little bit too clever by half, I think, Porto there. Petrov stuck his pass. Capucho, off on one of his easy runs again. The flag went up right away. Ibarra, I think, just a little bit slow taking off all the same. Look at the way they board forward here.
That's that goal again.
Yeah.
You know, really knew exactly what he wanted to do. Hit the final shot with tremendous accuracy. Goalkeeper got his hand, but not powerful enough.
Now Petrov is coming off, and Sylla, the former St Johnson player, coming on for Celtic now. Well, the youngster, the Bulgarian youngster, captain of the Bulgarian side, nevertheless, has run himself into the ground, I think. He needed a pair of fresh legs. Yeah, we're pondering this bit about what Celtic do now. I think they avoid humiliation for him.
Well, he's still trying to be positive because he's brought Agathe over onto the left-hand side and put Sylla on that right-hand side. Obviously looking for some form of penetration, I would think. But at the moment, everything's going very much Porto's way, and it's difficult to see what Celtic can do next.
Touched out there by Valgaeren. He's been the star of the night, a gem of a player, artistic, lovely, elegant movement forward. As we saw at Arcade, by the way, no stranger to this. There's a little 1-2 again, and Balde! Oh, that's a tackle and a half. That was completely fair. Only one winner in a situation like that. On the land, that's a slack who just got through. Sylla thought it was going to be picked up in midfield. But Sylla. Just a little eruption of petulance there by Mjallby. Fortunately, the referee just Fortunately, the referee just giving a gentle reprimand to him. Sad-looking Celtic bench, you know, after all the triumphs they've had recently. You know, played tonight. Acres of space for this man again. He's just relishing it too. Had to be touched there by Mjallby. Well, he should have let it go, I think. Pena, well judged by Brad Douglas. Well, he can't afford to give the ball away. He's going to try and chip the goalkeeper. Yes, any uptake there, saw his opportunity, Deco. Very lively player indeed. to go for it.
Well, that's right. You know, everything's going for them. They're enjoying themselves. They've played well. They've got the produce, and you might as well speculate just a little bit with an effort like that.
Well, the manager likens Deco to Zidane. I think that may be an exaggeration, but he's a very useful player. Again, a Brazilian. They've long had a tradition of bringing players from Brazil to this club. Of course, a great hero in recent times was Jardel. Well, nobody picking it up. There's the run forward. Sylla trying to give support. They look quite superb, and they're flooding forward. Great deal of fluency to the play. Porto will get the free kick for that. As he let Valgaeren simply get that. Well, they haven't exhausted the variety of the play yet. Valgaeren. Everything's coming off for them, and the referee waves play on. I think Costinha accepted or expected far too much out of that. Pena. I think he was enraged by that last challenge. Henrik Larsson. Mjallby. Fighting for it in the far side. Sylla, that's at least a decent effort. The run, the finish on the Feckless, but away they go. They push forward and outside. Lambert having to trace back. Ball played across them again. Clayton. Quick turn and Capucho! It really was teed up for him, and he came at it at a very awkward angle.
Well, that's right. A lovely run down the right-hand side. Good ball in, because he knew exactly what he wanted, but it's the only thing that Capucho's done wrong tonight.
Lambert. Wanted Sylla to go on the run, but it came too late. There was a lack of understanding, and Paul is not amused by that. Played his heart out in the last game against Rosenborg. Described as perhaps his best ever performance in a Celtic jersey. And tonight he's been swamped by events and a very good football playing team in Porto. I don't know what Balde saw there. He had his eyes up to the floodlights, I think. Agathe. Henrik Larsson. Try to fight back for this, doesn't come off. Referee waving play on. We've got 5 players coming forward, including you-know-who, Capucho! And I think Pena was offside.
Yeah, Pena just encroached into an offside position here, but you know, Celtic have just changed it a little bit at the back now. Paul Lambert has gone in to play beside Balde at centre half, and Lennon's pushed further forward. Just obviously trying to see if he can get more secure back over.
Headed away from Larsson, Moravcik. Lennon in midfield now. Headed away by Sylla. Ball out of play though. Just every now and again they can be slack in their midfield. They're preparing another substitution. It looks like Frederick, who might be coming on. No, it's Rubens Jr. It's Rubens Jr. they're bringing on. So we'll have 4 Brazilians on the field if he does come on. That looks like him. Away they go. They've been exposed now. It's 4 against 3. Here's Capucho. Celtic trying to get players back. Capucho is in there. Well to the side. Ibarra wasn't really coming forward as well as he should have. And there is the substitution. Off will come the man who scored a couple of goals, Clayton. And that is how he is registered, by the way. He's just simply called Clayton. And that was Deco. Deco who missed that out. Very inconclusive attempted goal.
The real disappointing aspect is that they're really trying Celtic up it well, and when you consider the chances that they've missed, Celtic are really fortunate only to be 3 behind.
Rubens Jr., the Brazilian, another one. This is his 9th senior club at the age of 26. Douglas has been exposed tonight. Tried his best as a flood of attacks came towards him. Henrik Larsson, and the flag is up on the far side. Well, the Celtic support, not surprisingly, have stuck with Celtic. Although now, with this game coming to its final quarter, looking just a little bit dejected now. You have to, I mean, I'm sure there'll be inquests. I'm sure Andy and Joe will look at it in all kinds of ways, but I wonder if this again shows the gulf between our game and the game with the better teams in the continent, or whether just a one-off, one of these nights when Celtic couldn't put it together. The thing about the Champions League is that they have the opportunity to make amends very quickly next week.
Well, that's right, and obviously Martin O'Neill's going to have to look at things and look at his back division, because really they've been torn asunder, and it hasn't mattered. He's changed, he's put Lennon in there, he's put Paul Lambert in there, and still Porto are cutting up with these.
Well, Ibarra looked as if he was going into the wall, but it's Deco who'll take this. Tries a chip. Not such a daft one. If you saw Douglas looking away across to his right, that's out of play. Well, Sylla ought to have the same kind of role. Yeah, there was a push there by Pena. Ought to have the same kind of role on that far side as Agathe. Hasn't really got going in the game yet, though. Ibarra. Yes, it was obstructed free kick. Well, it does show you the ramifications of this tournament with Celtic top. And that might, before the game, and that might end up in 3rd position. Intriguing, and anything can happen yet. Important games to come. Pena. Well marked again by Lennon. Well, Henrik Larsson is starting to roam across the front. He was way out the left-hand side to try and get it. Hasn't had a decent pass all night. Well, he'll have to work his wiles in midfield to produce anything for Celtic now. Sylla. I think he might get the free kick out of that. A little bit of determination as he went in there, and it paid off. And he would deal it up to 1 back. Swung in, and Balde and Hodgson turns around and looks at what an air hit me. That's who hit him. Balde is Tier 1 Andrade here tonight supporting, and that was Hodgson and Balde in that collision. Capucho did get it through. It's no offside. Ball played back and well read again by Lambert. Ibarra. Now Deco just touched away. Well, Douglas should get to that, okay.
Dangerous ball, and it's really well dealt with by Mjallby. It's a very, very difficult ball to clear, but managed it somehow.
Well, if the defending had that amount of cover and conviction in the first place, we wouldn't be in this position. Woefully exposed earlier on in the game. Mjallby tries to get in. Lennon. Lambert. Too much. There's a dejected look about them now. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Yes, and he's come all this way for exasperation. Another substitution. It's Frederick is coming on. Costinha is off. What is called Frederick. His actual full name's Sven Fredrik Olof Soderstrom from Sweden. There's a change from the Samba boys. Announcement to the Celtic supporters to say you've got to stay on in the stadium until it's all clear. I mean, like they want that. Larson. Sylla trying to come in. I think he was doing a little bit of pushing. It will be a free kick. Well, this must go down as his worst evening. I mean, apart from look at his aspiration there. It certainly goes down as the worst evening for Martin O'Neill, and look of almost bewilderment on the face of Celtic supporters, and it's how he now copes with it. He's not had this situation before, and he's going to learn from it.
Well, I think he's going to have to do an awful lot of thinking, because I myself have been surprised just how easily that Porto have cut Celtic up at the back. I really am. I thought they were very secure there. They have been in previous games, and tonight they really haven't got to grips with the game at all.
Just wonder if the warnings were there originally, Billy. I mean, in the last 20 minutes against Porto, they hit the post, grazed another post. They had given warning that they could come forward and play a lot of good attacking football.
Well, that's right. I mean, obviously they are very skillful, very good going forward, but it's the ease with which they've been able to tear Celtic up at the back.
Moravcik. A little bit too far in that, and Sylla knocking it in. I think, in fact, there's going to be a free kick awarded. Well, Porto, like many of the other clubs in Portugal, are suffering a collapse in the finances and the structure of the game. Finding it very difficult to get the players they would really like, the really top players they used to be able to afford. They've done not badly with this lot. Well, they couldn't quite get it. Mjallby does. Go to Porto. Well, just kept in. But you could see that Paul Lambert had gone right into the middle of the penalty area just to make sure. An insurance policy. As Moravcik picks it up again. Well, Lennon won't let them rest. Valgaeren just got to it. You can see the danger there in the little 1-2. Lennon popping up on the left. Has to push it back all the same. Couldn't see much in it for him. This could be dangerous. Pena well tackled and slack ball out of defence. It's going to be 2 against 1. A very poor ball sent across there. Well, they may make another substitution. Paulo Costa is getting ready to come on as the game reaches its conclusion, and a very sad conclusion for Celtic. As Capucho it is, and the stadium, well, at least the Porto supporters in the stadium rising to him. Well, I'm quite sure Celtic wouldn't mind a player like that in their books as well.
On that performance, he'd been excellent addition to any squad, I would imagine, but he certainly has had a powerful game, no doubt whatsoever about that.
Little Gerber cross and away. Well, that could have been picked up by the goal scorer, Silva. Here he comes, and Balde. Well, he certainly took him out. I think his presence did. He didn't make contact with the ball. Larson only gives it away. Very unlike him. It's wide. And Pena tries to squeeze it in. I think a sharper striker might have got in that.
Actually, I thought it was quite good defending, to be honest with you, but you know, Balde got in ahead of him. I think his presence at times just frightens people and puts them off.
Rapchik can't control it. Celtic looked like bringing on Sean Maloney, youngster who did well for them when he came on at the weekend. Well, the last we heard, Rosenberg were down at half-time, and I think Hartson, yes, it's Hartson is coming off. Didn't see much of the play tonight, Billy.
No, certainly Celtic.
Coming off. Didn't see much of the play tonight, Billy.
No, certainly Celtic never really had control of midfield, even for short spells, and haven't really been able to bring Hartson or Larson into the game.
Free kick to Porto as a very detected and not disgruntled Welsh international comes on. I know he's not been happy of not getting played. Pena controlled that well enough. Well, marked out again by Paul Lambert. Here's a youngster. Lambert just getting it away. Balde. Sylla fouled. Free kick. Well, he has the legs. We've seen him play so very well, Sylla. Well, he's still not content. They're bobbing up and down there, although his team have given him some inspirational moments tonight. Good turn by Mjallby. A younger Mjallby would have got round them there. Well offside, and again, I think it was the slowness of the pass from Fence because they might just have caught Celtic out there.
Well, they had the opportunity to do that, but really, Rubens Jr. was way well ahead of everyone else. Actually, good defending once again from Celtic.
Little touch on, not hard enough. Valgaeren getting up there. And he was given a run around in that first half as Andy and Joe were discussing in the studio. They'll, of course, be analysing this along with Jim. What What significance do we read into this? One-off or just one of these nights? Or indeed is there still a remaining gulf between the top in a country and the best in Europe? Still going at it, and the referee, there's Valgaeren. Good support there by Agathe. Throw to Porto. And he's managed a smile now. Pena. And he put it across. Just touched up by Rob Douglas. And he did well there because there was a player at the far post and all he had to do was touch it in. Here's a youngster. Maloney tries to lay it off. Sylla does well. Fighting hard. Now Lennon. Sylla. Maloney. Couldn't get it through. Too many players crowding him out. And it's Lambert who finds himself in that central defensive position now. Moravcik certainly the kind of player who could have turned the game given the right kind of circumstances for him. He certainly hasn't had much of the play in midfield. That's a bit of ball outside. Lennon is offside. Not a bad move, and indeed you have to credit Celtic. The three goals behind, again, won and lost, and yet they're trying to build up moves like that.
Well, the thing is, getting a goal even at this late stage of the game would bring them some enjoyment and maybe even a little bit of respectability to scoreline, because really they have been severely outplayed by Porto. Actually started the game very loosely, very casually, and paid the penalty.
Straight to Lennon. Ibarra. That's a bit of ball. Agathe. On that far side, Henrik Larsson was locking, prowling, getting ready to come in for the kill. Referee looking across to the assistant. Balde got in there. Just put it anywhere. It's 1-1. Paul Lambert being harassed. Douglas under a little bit of pressure. Somebody climbing on top of Balde. It's a brave man to do that. Sylla. Into trouble and gets a free kick again. And I admire his spirit and his resilience. Hasn't buckled, he just ran out that defence, been told to do that. And at least, the very least, he'd been getting free kicks out of it. Well, they've won, they're now going on to two crucial games. Next one, of course, against Mjallby. So, Moravcik, one of the best in the business on his scored a great goal on Saturday, and away they go. It's 4 against 2, and the whistle has gone, in fact, just as they made that break. There it is, Billy. A very sad night for Celtic.
Very, very disappointing. We came full of optimism. Celtic leave with great disappointments, and Martin Neal not what to think about.
That's it, Jim. A lot of all over him.
Yeah, Celtic outplayed in Portugal tonight. We'll get the thoughts of Joe and Andy straight after this. Don't go away.
For your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, we didn't play well enough. Porto were much better than us tonight, and we didn't have any energy. And we defended poorly as well too, which is normally a decent strength of us. You know, we conceded very, very early on in the game, always chasing the match, and never put enough pressure on Porto either.
What went wrong? Why were you not able to race your game tonight? Was it tiredness?
Well, I thought we looked tired, but even so, I mean, these are big games for us, and it is, you know, it's the Champions League. It's our first attempt at it, and you know, we're applying ourselves as diligently as we possibly can. Today, Porto are a very, very good side, as they proved in the competition.
And after the first goal goes in, after 1 minute, you're always on the back heel. You don't have time to settle. How hard is it then to come back from that?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that we didn't want to do was give them an early goal so that they could settle. They're all very, very exceptional players. But
is this going to be ready? Can we go to it first?
We've been beaten in the game. We've been well beaten in the match. We've got 2 games and trying to do something. The competition is still there for us if we can really, really grasp it. It's very, very difficult.